All right, welcome aboard to the bright side. I want to touch on a couple more brain health issues, serotonin boosting strategies. We're talking about getting off of SSRI drugs, Cymbalta, Effexor, Prozac. We're talking about the importance of serotonin, how to build your own serotonin without resorting to pharmacology, without resorting to psychiatry, without resorting to Obamacare and insurance and pharmacy and drugs, et cetera, et cetera. You can build your own serotonin levels. We talked about eating more protein, especially tryptophan-containing protein, organ meats, dairy, eggs, all good sources of tryptophan. Beans are a moderately good source of tryptophan as well. Eat more unprocessed veggies, I should say. Eat more unprocessed veggies. Stay away from grains. We spent the last week and a half or so, talking about lectins that are found in grains, lectins that are found in beans, lectins that are responsible for much degenerative disease. Be very, 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 very careful of grains. Be very, very careful of lectins. Be very, very careful of anything that causes digestive distress. But you want to make sure that you're getting veggie-based carbohydrates with your proteins. Veggie-based carbohydrates with your proteins help build serotonin levels, especially if they're tryptophan-containing proteins. The third important strategy that I want to talk about for the next day or two is to get yourself out in the sun. Of all the silly medical dermatology and doctor strategies that we have for health, including vaccinations and antidepressants and drugs and electroconvulsive shock therapy. Yes, they still do electroconvulsive shock therapy. Of all the dumb medical strategies, none holds less water than this simplistic and ignorant notion that we should be staying out of the sun or not going out in the sun without a sunscreen. Stupidity, people. The sun is one of your best health friends. And for the next couple of shows, I want to talk about how important the sun is, which is, in my opinion, a subject that we don't talk anywhere near enough about. I know this is a nutrition program, but it's also a health program. And in many ways, the sun can be considered a kind of pseudo-nutritional supplement. The sun activates nutrients, as we'll be talking about here in a moment. One of the most important things to understand about the importance of the sun is something called the photoelectric effect. Photo means light, electric for electricity. And the photoelectric effect is a description of the relationship between light and electricity. Albert Einstein came up with this baby when he showed that light can be converted to electrical energy. Albert Einstein actually won the Nobel Prize in the 1920s for his discovery that light and electrical energy can be interchangeable. Most people think of Albert Einstein, when most people think of Albert Einstein, they think of the theory of relativity, and certainly that was a very important part of Einstein's work, but Einstein actually won the Nobel Prize for describing the relationship between light and electricity, and this has tremendous implications when it comes to health. The light from the sun is converted into electrical energy in the body. Solar energy, ultraviolet energy, solar energy, light energy is converted into electricity in the body. This is so important. We are electrical beings. Health is electricity. Disease is a breakdown in electrical energy. And the sun is like a generator in the sky. It's an electrical generator. And by the way, where do you suppose this light to electricity conversion takes place? Well, obviously, it takes place in the skin. The skin is a biological solar panel. And just like a solar panel on the roof of your house can be used to make electricity via this photoelectric effect, the sun hits the solar panel on your roof and the solar panel turns it into electricity to make things happen in your house, to run your house's heat your house, to run the electrical systems of your house. In the same fashion, your skin is a solar panel that produces electrical energy to make things happen in the body. And do you really want to put a sunscreen on top of this solar panel? Would you ever put a sunscreen on your solar panel on your roof? How stupid would that be? It's just as dumb to rub some toxic cream, and make no mistake about it, sunscreens are toxic chemicals. It's just as dumb as rubbing a cream on your solar panel on your roof and then expecting your solar panels to operate effectively. It's just as dumb to rub a cream on the solar panel we call the skin. The skin is a solar panel that allows the body to exploit this photoelectric effect. The skin turns solar energy into electrical energy that runs the body, and your dumb dumb dermatologist will tell you not to go out in the sun. Stupidity of the highest degree. The sun is electricity. In essence, the sun is electricity, and electricity is health. Therefore, the sun is health. Breakdown in the body is electrical breakdown, and the sun is a battery in the sky, is an electrical charger in the sky, and your skin is like a solar battery. It absorbs solar energy, converts it into electricity, and that electricity can be used in the body. When you're sick, you have less electrical energy. A sick cell, we've always said on this program, all disease is cell disease. And when a cell is diseased, it is a cell that is not processing, not using electrical energy. Its electrical energy has become diminished. When we are diseased, what we're really experiencing, and by the way, when we're aging, what we're really experiencing is a drop in electrical energy. Think of a car when the battery won't turn over. That's disease. Disease is the biological body equivalent of a car that's not turning over. Except it's occurring at the level of a cell, which is 1/100th the size of the head of a pin. Cells derive electrical energy partially from the sun, partially from food, which comes from the sun. Ultimately, all electrical energy comes from the sun. The sun is the ultimate electrical energy supercharger. Can we get a little love for poor Mr. Sun that has been so vilified and demonized in our culture? All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll continue talking about health, nutrition, the sun, serotonin, and take your phone calls as well. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back right after this. All right, we're talking about the sun and serotonin. The sun is one of the most important strategies. Getting out in the sun is one of the most important strategies to help build your serotonin levels. The sun is electrical energy. Electrical energy is health. And when it comes to health, I'm going to say this as clearly and as succinctly as I can. Listen up. The sun is a major, maybe the major building, anti-aging, growth, and repair stimulus. The sun means growth. The sun means health. The sun means life. So unless you have a problem with growth and health and life and repair, make sure you're getting out in the sun. Make sure you're looking at the sun. Practice something called sun gazing. Historically, throughout history, people as diverse as Plato and Socrates and masters of Eastern wisdom, Apollonius of Tyana, throughout history, people have used the sun and used sun gazing as a way of improving physical well-being as well as mental well-being. So get yourself out in the sun without a sunscreen. And by the way, have you ever noticed how hard it is to eat a meal when you're out in the sun? You know, you can actually buy an appetite suppressant patch called the SP6 that works by trapping solar energy to reduce cravings for food. Bright light exposure has been successfully used to treat binge eating. That's because the sun upregulates satisfaction chemistry. The biochemistry of satiety, the biochemistry of fullness, the biochemistry of joy, the biochemistry of awakeness, the biochemistry of alertness, and the biochemistry of serotonin are all keyed to the sun. Yet your doctor and your dermatologist and your well-meaning, perhaps, skincare professional will tell you, be careful of going out in the sun. Never go out in the sun without a sunscreen. I hear this all the time, people. I hear this from skincare professionals who should know much better, telling people not to go out in the sun, not to go out in the sun without a sunscreen. If you want to diminish your serotonin levels, then don't go out in the sun. If you want to diminish your serotonin levels, then don't look in the sun. And by the way, because serotonin is converted into melatonin, not only will avoiding the sun depress serotonin levels, but ultimately it's going to depress one of the most powerful anti-aging substances that the body makes, and that's melatonin. One of the most powerful antidepressant substance that the body makes, and that's melatonin. One of the most relaxing and pro-sleep substances that the body makes, and that's melatonin. So getting yourself out in the sun is not only important for building serotonin, it's also very important for building melatonin as well. Serotonin is a daytime vigilance and awareness hormone. It makes perfect sense when you think about it that the sunlight would upregulate this awakeness daytime hormone. Daytime vigilance and awareness means the sun. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, also known as the Seattle Blues, is one of the prices that we pay for lack of sun, or lack of getting out in the sun. SAD is a classic manifestation of serotonin deficiencies that's associated with wintertime and lack of sunlight. So get yourself out in the sun. These days, pretty much everybody knows about vitamin D, which is basically solar-activated cholesterol. The sun activates cholesterol and turns it into vitamin D. Cholesterol is turned on. It's activated by the electrical energy from the sun, and it becomes vitamin D. But the sun is also important for a biochemical process that's called sulfation. Sulfation is a chemical reaction that occurs between the element sulfur, which is stored in great abundance in the skin, and the sun. In fact, sulfur is stored in your hair. Sulfur is stored in your scalp. Your entire body, the entire outside part of your body is a storage system for sulfur, and that sulfur is activated by the sun in a process called sulfation. Of course, in order for this reaction to occur, we got to make sure we have enough sulfur in our diets, which is something that may be, unfortunately, easier said than done given sulfur deficiency in the soils. But you can always take MSM, and you can always make sure that you're eating sulfur-containing foods. Cartilage is a wonderful sulfur-containing food. Bone soup is a wonderful sulfur-containing food. Eggs contain sulfur. Stinky foods of all kinds, onions, garlic, shallots, all contain sulfur. That stink is a sulfur smell. And then there's a serotonin connection. Serotonin is a daytime hormone. It's 180-degree polar opposite of melatonin, which is the quintessential nighttime hormone. Sunlight activates serotonin production in the brain. If you're staying out of the sun, if you're wearing sunglasses, you are depriving yourself of the primary stimulus, the primary activator of your own personal serotonin manufacturing system. How cool is that? We got our own personal serotonin manufacturing system. Yet your psychiatrist will tell you, well, you got a serotonin problem. We got to give you this toxic, nasty SSRI drug that poisons the serotonin system that the body has to process as a poison when we have our own personal serotonin manufacturing system. How the heck can anyone justify getting on an SSRI drug before they use the medicinal powers of the sun? And if you live in Seattle, or you live in Washington, or you're out there, it's wintertime wherever you are, and you can't get out in the sun, go get a sun lamp. Go to Verilux, Verilux.com, Verilux.com, and for less than $200, you can get a sun lamp and practice light therapy in the comfort of your living room. You can get a mini version for less than $100. That's way less than the cost of a couple of months' worth of Prozac that you get at the pharmacy, and way better for you. And while you're exposing yourself to the sun, or a sun lamp for that matter, make sure you're getting antioxidant sun protection nutrients. We'll be talking about a lot about antioxidant sun protection nutrients as summertime approaches. Truly, the best way to protect yourself from the sun is not sunscreen, is not sunblocks, it's not topical sun creams, sun protection creams. It's vitamin C and NAC and plant nutrients and seaweed and sea vegetables. Seaweed and sea vegetables are probably the most concentrated sources of sun protective nutrients you could ever use. Riboflavin, vitamin B2 has got sun protection properties, as does zinc and selenium and vitamin A and carotenes. Get on the Vision FX from Longevity. The Vision FX is designed to protect your eyes and skin, but it's designed to protect your eyes, but it can also protect your skin. The Vision FX is designed to protect your eyes from solar radiation, but it can also protect your skin from solar radiation, and in fact, all nutrients can do it. Get on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. If you have any digestive issues, that is going to affect your ability to absorb sun protection nutrients, and it's going to make your skin more sensitive to the sun. So you gotta make sure you're protecting you're taking care of your digestive health and digestive wellness. A lot of these sun protection nutrients that are stored in the skin are fatty. They're fat soluble. So if you have a gallbladder issue, if you have a liver issue, if, God forbid, somebody hacked out your gallbladder, you're going to be at higher risk for sun damage. So you're going to want to make be extra careful about making sure that you're getting sun protective nutrients if you have a gallbladder issue, liver issue, or any kind of compromise in your ability to absorb fatty nutrients. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back with your phone calls. Welcome back to The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're talking about SSRIs, ways to get off of SSRIs. Way number one, or method number one, eat more protein, tryptophan-containing protein. Method number two, eat more non-starchy carbs, vegetables, non-starchy vegetable carbs. And step number three, make sure you're getting out in the sun. There's so much to talk about when it comes to the importance of the sun for good health. We'll continue discussing this tomorrow. On the bright side, our number today is 855-660-4261. Time to hit the phones. Let's go across the pond, as they say, and talk to Frank in the UK. What is up, Frank? Welcome to the bright side.
Hi, Ben. Just want to say you're a top bloke. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
My question today is, what are the best things to do and the best longevity products to take for reversing asthma and the chest infections which accompany it?
Easy. Asthma is one of the easiest things to deal with. It's a classic sign of an immune attack. The body's immune system responding to something. The immune system, as I'm sure you know, Frank, and for our listeners, the immune system is a defense system. When the immune system is activated, that means something has gotten into the body that the body perceives as the enemy. So asthma is a defensive response. Immune problems are defensive responses. Asthma is a classic example of a defensive response. If there's a defensive response, the only thing we need to know is what is causing that defensive response, and it usually is something that we're eating. It can occasionally be something that's getting through the skin, rarely, I should say. It can rarely be something that's getting in through the nose, but 80 to 90% of your immune system is located in the digestive tract, which makes perfect sense because this is the main source of entry of the enemy of the outside world into the inside world of the body. So for asthma, step number one, before you do anything else, you got to figure out what's activating or triggering or initiating that defensive response. It usually has something to do with dairy or grains or eggs. It could have something to do with the lectins that we talked about for the last couple of weeks. Look to foods. Get yourself a food diary. Write down everything you eat. And by the way, is it for you, by the way, Frank, or somebody you know?
It's for me.
Okay, so you got to know that you have other conditions going on. Nobody just has asthma. Listen up, people. Yeah. Nobody just has asthma. No, I'll say it again. It's so important. Nobody just has asthma. Frank, do you have a skin issue or anything, eczema, psoriasis? Do you have any kind of digestive issues that you know about? You got to have something else going on there.
Sometimes I get like a squeeze in abdominal pain sometimes.
Okay, bingo. Right there is where you want to stop it, because that abdominal pain is telling you that something has entered into your digestive tract. So whenever you have that abdominal issue, you got to figure out what is going on, what you put in your digestive system within a few hours before. So an abdominal issue is perfect. But even asthma, if you just, when you have your asthmatic attack, what did I eat an hour or 2 hours, or even sometimes quicker than that, depending on how severe your allergic response is or your defensive responses. It could be something you ate a half hour before, but whatever it is, it's something you put in your system. And ideally, you can want to find some multiple other symptoms that are going on. Usually there's a skin issue in addition to the digestive problem. There's usually a skin issue. There may be a blood pressure issue. There's some other manifestations of the stress response. Asthma is simply the most dramatic manifestation, but there's always going to be something else going on, and it's in your interest to find as many clues or as many symptoms as possible. A symptom is like a clue, and if you're going to solve a mystery, you got to have clues. If you're going to solve a mystery of asthma or a mystery of any kind of defensive response in the body, you got to find clues. You got to find symptoms. So for asthma, number one, look to something that's getting into the system that's activating that defensive response. Secondly, there's some tremendous nutritional supplements that you can take that will strengthen the immune system so it doesn't have to become so jumpy. And there's also wonderful nutritional supplements that you can take to strengthen the digestive tract, to keep things from getting into the blood through the digestive system. So let me give you a few ideas right off the bat. First of all, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is a must-have. It's a liquid nutritional supplement. It'll go right to work. Can you get the BTT and the longevity products out there in the UK, Frank?
Yeah, Ben.
Okay, good deal. Get on the BTT, stat, right away. Number two, get on the probiotics. There's the Nightly Essence is probably the best probiotic, but there's another one called the Root Beer Belly that just came out. Not quite as good, but it's a little bit less expensive and it's a little tastier. Personally, I like the Nightly Essence. Make sure you're using the Ultimate Enzymes after meals and you're activating them with apple cider vinegar. The Ultimate Enzymes can also, in addition to being good for your digestive system, they also have anti-inflammatory properties that may be beneficial for asthma. Magnesium is a superstar mineral for dealing with asthma. Get on the OsteoFX product. In fact, the Healthy Start Pack would be perfect for you because it's got the BTT, the magnesium, and the OsteoFX, and it's got the essential fatty acids, which can also be very important for dealing with asthma. Vitamin E, 400 international units a day, super important for respiratory health. If you're a smoker, if you have chronic colds, if you have chronic lung infections, COPD, or asthma, vitamin E can be one of your best nutritional supplement friends. I like the mixed tocopherol forms of vitamin E, 400 international units a day. There's something called NAC, which we'll be talking about a little bit. I think we'll be talking about that a little bit tomorrow when we talk about the sun. NAC stands for N-acetylcysteine, and it's so important for the lungs and for respiratory health that it's actually a prescription drug called Mucomyst that folks who have cystic fibrosis will use for their lungs. NAC is used in emergency rooms to help detoxify the liver, and it's incredibly important for lung health. By the way, if you're a smoker, NAC and vitamin E and vitamin C are all very, very important for helping protect your lungs from some of the damage that's caused by cigarette smoke. Vitamin C is also important for asthma. You'll get some of that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I'd be using a little more, maybe Beyond Tangy will give you about 1,000 milligrams for 2 scoops. I'd be taking 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day as well. And a lot of strategies there for you for dealing with asthma. By far and away, the most important is to figure out what those digestive triggers are, and then working on the digestive health aspect, using the ultimate enzymes and the probiotics and apple cider vinegar, and then working directly with the lungs using magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin E, NAC, getting on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, getting yourself on that Healthy Start Pack. That can go a long way towards helping improve asthma. But by far and away, the most important way to deal with asthma or any immune issue is to focus on what is activating that defensive response, what's turning on the immune system, what is initiating the defensive activity that shows up as constriction in the blood vessels and the bronchioli in the lungs that are so characteristic of asthma. Does that help you, buddy?
Yeah, a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. God bless. Good luck. Hope everything works out for you. All right, moving on. Let's see. Mary in Michigan. What's up? Michigan Mary, what's up? Welcome to the bright side. How's it going?
Thank you so much. My son was just diagnosed with lichen planus, oral lichen planus, and they put him on steroids.
Dude,
I'm worried about
are you just trying to make me angry here this morning? Do you know how nasty those steroid drugs are? They are just the nastiest. And there's a lot of nasty drugs out there. How do steroid drugs work? And we'll play a little, we'll give you a little quiz here. Do you know how steroid drugs work?
I'm assuming it's going to suppress his immune system.
Mary, how did you know that? I was going to tell you that, but how did you know that it was going to? Have you been listening to the program, or you just knew that?
I've been listening.
Good deal. Good deal. That's exactly how steroids work. They suppress the immune system. This is the iconic example of the idiocy of what I call the medical model. Now, the immune system is designed by the divine force, by nature, to protect you from enemies. And there's enemies everywhere in terms of bacteria and viruses and toxins and funguses. They're all over the place. And so God has given us a defense system to protect us from these invaders, these would-be invaders. Do you suppose it ever makes any sense to suppress this defensive mechanism? What is the craziness? What kind of planet are we on where we have a medical model that thinks that it's healing to suppress the immune system? We're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Mary in Michigan about lichen planus, oral lichen planus. That's white patches, red patches in the mouth, I assume, right? Is that correct, Mary?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now the doctors give you a steroid. A steroid is an immune suppressant. So what does that tell you logically? Well, obviously, it tells you that lichen planus is the manifestation of immune activation. That's why they give you a steroid. If you want to know if your health condition involves some kind of immune reaction, just look at the drugs they're giving you. If they give you an immune suppressant to so-called treat, whatever that means, whatever you're dealing with, then you probably have an immune reaction. Well, once again, whenever you have an immune reaction, focus on the digestive system. And almost all health issues that are degenerative in nature involve the immune system, which means almost all health conditions that are degenerative in nature somehow involve the digestive tract. It's really quite as simple as that. It doesn't sound magical, it doesn't sound sexy, but it's just basic biochemistry. If something is activating the immune system, if something is activating the inflammatory system in the body, which is what red swollen tissue is when you have it in your mucous membranes or you have it on your skin or anywhere else, then you got to focus on something that's getting into the body. So, number one, focus on foods. Look to food allergies. Look to food intolerances. Look to lectin-containing foods. The biggest culprits are going to be dairy, grains, peanuts, eggs, and soy, but it could be anything. That's step number one. If you can find some digestive symptoms like gas or heartburn or loose stools or constipation, then you're going to be ahead of the game. If you don't know if there's any digestive symptoms, look closely. And if you have a kid, sometimes they don't like talking about their digestive issues. How old's your kid, by the way?
He's 28.
Oh, okay. Well, he ain't no kid, really. But he should know. He'll know if he has any. Does he have a history of digestive problems?
No, but lately he's had trouble with his stomach. So he cut out cheese, and he said that helped.
Well, you're on the right track there, but there's probably more. As long as he's got that inflammation in his mouth, there's probably more stuff. So you're on the right track, though. That's a good job cutting out cheese. If cutting out cheese helps, chances are cutting out all dairy will make a big difference. There's components in milk and in whey, for that matter, that are not in cheese that he may be having a reaction to. Grains are a big problem for folks. You know all the likely suspects. Secondly, lichen planus may involve fungal infections. Anytime you have fungal infections, look to probiotics. Probiotics, good bacteria, can balance out fungus. This can be true not just for lichen planus, but if you have systemic yeast infections or vaginal yeast infections or toenail fungus or any kind of fungal infections, you want to balance the fungal infection out with bacteria. Bacteria and fungus live in a balance in the body, and when the bacteria get thrown off either through eating dairy or taking antibiotics or eating fish or meat, a fungus can overgrow. So using probiotics is a great strategy for helping balance out fungal infections. Get on the nightly essence. Use fermented foods, sauerkraut, miso, tempeh, kefir, any kind of fungal infections. Look to either fermented foods, or not either, but both fermented foods and probiotic supplements like the nightly essence. Secondly, use nutritional support. Get on the bone soup. Wonderful for the digestive system. Use glutamine powder. Great for the digestive system. Around 5 grams of glutamine powder a day for all digestive problems. I prefer using the glutamine powder than the glutamine capsules or tablets. Whey protein, by the way, can be wonderful for the digestive system if he does not have any issues with whey. Whey also contains glutamine. Use the digestive enzymes. Use apple cider vinegar. You may benefit, or he may benefit, by using lecithin after meals. If you want something topical, you can try zinc oxide, topical zinc oxide, which has some antibacterial or antifungal properties. In the mouth, it's going to be a little bit difficult. For lichen planus on the skin, zinc oxide can sometimes help. In the mouth, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to work topically, so you're going to be stuck using using internal nutrition. Selenium can upregulate the body's immune system. 200 to 600 micrograms of selenium might be helpful. And of course, don't forget about good old vitamin C, tremendously important for all infections, all inflammatory conditions, all immune problems. Around 5,000 to 10,000 milligrams a day. You'll get some of the vitamin C in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, as well as some selenium and B complex. And then last but most certainly not least, N-acetylcysteine for all immune issues, all toxicity in the body. N-acetylcysteine upregulates the body's ability to clear itself out. Around 500 milligrams, anywhere from 100 to 500 milligrams a day of NAC may be helpful for you. Thanks so much for your call, Mary. Hope that helped you out. And personally, if it was me, Mary, I wouldn't go near a steroid drug. You're going to run risks on further suppression of digestive health, as well as further breakdown of the immune system, or your son will, by staying on a steroid drug. What did they give him, by the way, Mary?
It's a topical steroid. He is just starting on it.
Is it Kenalog? Did they call it Kenalog, or?
I'm not sure the name of it.
A topical steroid to put in his mouth?
Right, yeah.
Well, of course, it's not just topical. If he's putting it in his mouth, he's going to be swallowing it, and he's going to be getting systemic effects from that steroid as well. So personally, I would lay off the steroid, save your money on the steroid, get him on a good nutritional supplement program, and keep your eyes on have him keep his eyes on his digestive symptoms. And the fact that he noticed improvement by staying off of the cheese, or laying off the cheese, is a really good sign. It shows he's on the right track. Thanks for your call, Mary. Hope we helped you out. All right, Marietta in Missouri, what is up?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
Well, I have a goiter, and it's not growing, but it's growing down behind my chest wall.
All right, that's not good, my dear. Marietta, goiter is a sign that the thyroid is working overtime to try to find iodine. Get yourself on iodoral first and foremost, or some source of iodine. It's funny because in Missouri and in the middle part of it's not funny, but it's interesting, in the middle part of the country, iodine deficiencies are somewhat rampant. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough seafood or iodine-containing foods. By the way, iodine, if you've got a goiter and you're deficient in iodine, you're also running higher risks for other iodine deficiency issues like cancer and glandular problems. So iodine is super important, very important for women's health issues. Iodine is. I'd be using 12.5 milligrams of iodoral a day. Make sure you're on the B vitamins. All thyroid issues have a digestive component, either before the thyroid issue or after the thyroid issue, or both. In other words, digestive issues can cause problems with the thyroid, and once the thyroid starts to slow down, that can cause further digestive issues, which of course will compromise the thyroid even more, which will cause more digestive issues, and you end up with this downward spiral, this vicious cycle. So focusing on digestive wellness is very important. Thyroid hormone is activated at least partially in the digestive tract. So if you have any issues with the digestive tract, any small intestine issues, absorption issues, that's going to compromise your ability to maximize thyroid health. Focus on digestive wellness. Once again, probiotics, good bacteria, glutamine powder, digestive enzymes. Mariette, do you know about any digestive issues? Well, you must know you have some digestive issues. I'm not even going to ask you that. Focus on food intolerances, specific foods that cause digestive symptoms. There's also certain foods that will shut down the thyroid. They call them goitrogenic foods, and these are foods that will actually cause a goiter. Soy is a big-time goitrogenic food. Be very careful of all soy and soy-containing foods. Broccoli and what they call the cruciferous vegetables, kale, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, bok choy. These cruciferous vegetables are also well-known goitrogenic foods. They can induce goiters. If you like broccoli and you like Brussels sprouts, and there's certainly a lot of good stuff in the cruciferous vegetables, cook them a little bit or steam them a little bit, and that can help improve their goitrogenic effects. You get less goitrogenic effects once you steam your cruciferous vegetables. The B vitamins also very important for the thyroid. The mineral selenium is very, very important for thyroid health and very underappreciated when it comes to taking care of your thyroid. I'd be using the OPC selenium, the Ultimate Selenium product from Longevity, maybe 400 to 600 micrograms a day. A lot you could do for the thyroid. Also, keep in mind that when you're under a lot of stress, either psychological stress or mental stress or emotional stress or physical stress, and your adrenal glands are kicking in to get you out of that stressful situation, over time the thyroid will slow down secondary or in response to that adrenal activity. So practicing your deep breathing techniques, making sure you're relaxing, making sure you're getting enough sleep, maybe using some melatonin on a regular basis, all those can help with the thyroid. All right, Marietta, thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can get one more call in. Leanne in California. Real quick, what's going on, girl?
I've just been suffering from a hiatal hernia, and the doctor talked about surgery.
Okay. Hiatal hernia is a breakdown in the connective tissue of the diaphragm. The stomach sticks through the diaphragm secondary to that breakdown. Treat a hiatal hernia as if it was a breakdown of the body. The body's connective tissue is starting to break down. Lots of ways you can take care of that, using cartilage, using the bone soup, using the glucosamine or the glucogel caps, making sure you're getting enough protein, and always take vitamin C with the glucogel caps, by the way. They work together. And then last but not least, chiropractors can sometimes do manipulations to help improve hiatal hernias. Thank you so much for your call. That's all we got time for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about how important the sun is for improving serotonin effects as we continue discussing SSRIs and ways to beef up your own serotonin production. Stay tuned for Alex Jones next. On most of these stations, I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.